Swamiji, people say that one has to avoid white sugar, white salt and white rice.
This is actually 5 white we have to avoid. First white is sodium chloride, because sodium chloride is a preservative.
Sodium chloride is the salt.
Preservative. Chlorine is used for disinfectant. So, when you when you add sodium chloride, that salt with our food, the digestion assisting bacteria it will kill. That is why in our India, the Aryas on Amavasya day, they that is no moon day, they use Himalayan salt, because Himalayan salt does not have chlorine. So, that is highly dangerous, and the sodium requirement for a human is hardly 2 gram, that too for a physically employed person, whereas now we are sedentary people. So, hardly if we take sodium, that is more than enough, but in our curd rice itself we add more than 10 grams of salt. Other than that, vegetable, salad, and in your sambar or rasam, like that, we add lot of salt we eat. So, this we have to avoid. To alternate what I am telling, you can add Himalayan salt.
Himalayan rock salt.
Himalayan rock salt. The Himalayan rock salt is nothing, anything wonder. The Himalaya was under the sea millions of years ago. So, when sea retreated, in the valley the sea water was stored. So, during the climate, all the water evaporated. So, ultimately the chlorine also evaporated. So, it formed like a rock, that is without chlorine, and also depending on the valley it will be pink. Pink means iron content is there. If it is little yellow, aluminum content is there, like that it can be differentiated. This is harmless. For example, you use Himalayan salt in pachadi. Pachadi will be out within 3 days or 4 days. But if you use sodium chloride salt, pachadi you can retain for even 6 months or 1 year also. That is how it is. Then the second white is milk and milk product. It is actually myth what we say. Milk is a alternate to the food. No. See, for example, mother's milk, if a child drinks, she will not vomit. But if you, even if she vomits, it will be like milk only. Whereas if you drink cow's milk, first sign will be child will vomit. Once it vomits, it is like curd, because inside we have got acid. So, it becomes LDL once milk enters inside your thing. Another thing, the gene of cow is different than human being. So, that gene and our gene will not at all match. So, better is our recent example. 2 months ago, one lady called me, my daughter gave birth to a child, but she is not able to feed. Then alternate they suggested some baby milk. But the problem is, she gave baby milk, but the child, when she passes stools, she was crying, because at the newborn baby, the chemical in the baby food, it injured her intestine and stomach. So, she called me and asked me, what should I do? I did 2 things. One, to make the mother give milk like hot and cold for the breast, then massaging breast, then using egg white and black gram powder and having a pack on both the breast. Also the place where she was wearing bra. So, and massaging the entire chest. Within 4 hours she was able to give some milk. Then for the child I suggested coconut milk. I asked her to give 1 filler first. You see the reaction. If there is no reaction, you increase the quantity. In between you give water. She gave. Next 24 hours she called me and told, my child without crying, without weeping, she is reporting to toilet. Now, for the past 2 months she is continuing. Her mother also I suggested, take whole black gram sprouts, black rice, brown rice, and also the coconut milk and all millets, whole millets, and sprouted pulse. Now, even the coconut milk mother stopped, because mother's milk is more sufficient for the child. That is how we have to maintain. Other than this milk, third thing is sugar, white sugar. White sugar, see, tongue only asks sugar. The entire body, sugar is enemy. So, instead, one doctor called me, there are 6 tastes. So, sweet is one taste. So, what do you suggest? Fruit is sweet. So, go for fruit. So, why do you go for sugar? They say jaggery. Jaggery also, I tested that. The same thing. Sprouted pulse, I added jaggery, and to my astonishment, it sucked all the water. So, jaggery also not recommended. You can go for sugar cane juice or whole sugar. What I am telling is, value addition of any product not only harms the environment, ultimately if environment is harmed, we are harmed. For example, coconut. You take as it is coconut, because God has provided cold extraction like the hardest bone and also 32 teeth. And coconut cannot be adulterated, whereas coconut oil can be adulterated. Yes. So, as it is you take coconut, why value addition? You need machine and you need transport. Coconut has to be transported to some distance, and the trader will get some commission, and that is you need machine to extract the oil. So, there are a lot of competitiveness. In the competition, what they say, they will adulterate some oil and take. So, that is how what is the nature is giving, you take as it is, like any other living being. No other living being takes processed food.
Right.
That is how. So, sugar we can avoid. Next, the fourth thing is, as I have already told you, processed carbohydrate. For example, rice. It sticks into cooker. It also sticks in the spoon. So, and we can use the white rice as a gum.
Yes.
Like that, it will stick into the entire thing. So, the vessel or spoon, we can wash it with soap and brush. How can you wash your intestine or stomach? So, that is not. So, if it is whole grain, as I told you, it will not produce any worms. So, that way you have to avoid this. And another thing, chapati. Chapati, when you roll, it will stick to your wood as well as that roll. So, to avoid that, we add dry powder or oil. So, before eating chapati, are you taking dry powder and oil, then only taking chapati? No. So, that is how it is. Whereas, you take whole wheat, that too sprouted wheat, with some fresh fruits or vegetables. It is not only chew and eat, live long, you can more alkaline, that is your more saliva will go in and it will reduce the acidity. The fifth thing is all powders, whether it is ragi powder, now everybody say ragi java. Ragi java is for a physically engaged person. 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, our great father or great grandfathers, they were working from morning to evening in the field. There were not even no cycles. So, those time it is digested. Now, we have to take not ragi java, ragi sprouts we can take about 25 to 30 grams. Our requirement of carbohydrate is only this. Next is oil. Oil should be preferably cold pressed oil or oil nuts we can take. We should not go for hot pressed oil, and better is nuts. Next means you should never heat the oil. If you heat the oil, that will form LDL, that is an unsaturated fat, it will stagnate. Today morning one lady showed me, she had tumors like thing in the entire hand. that is nothing but solidification of LDL fat, because the impure blood passes through just below the skin. If you use fan or AC, the water is dried up. So, it stagnates like a drainage. If water is less, the solid matter will stagnate. Like that, the solid matter, that is unsaturated fat, will stagnate here and there. Wherever there is bend, wherever there is obstruction, it will stagnate and it will form a tumor. One Swamiji, he had that tumor here, and entire place, and also here. So, I recommended him first mud bath, then all sweat glands open, then drinking water every 20 kg 1 liter, and preferably mineral, vegetable juice, green leaves and fruit juice, then putting both the palms in the steam, applying in the joints the patti, lime and honey patti. To his astonishment, within 28 days, entire thing came out through his urine. The same way here, one famous pharmaceutical company, he had in calf muscle as well as thigh the same tumors. Then I asked him to put 2 legs, that is in foot massager they say, 2 legs in the hot water and 1 wet cloth over the head. That is, if foot is hot and head is cold, you need not go for go and meet a doctor. Without disease you can live. So, to his astonishment, within 7 sittings, the entire thing, the tumors came
got
out.
healed. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. These 5 we have to completely avoid.
Beautiful, Swamiji.
Prevention is better than cure.
The young man knows the rules, but the old man knows the exceptions.
What is the cause of illness for any person?
It is accumulation of waste in our system. That is 3 system: Kapha, Pitta, Vata.
Born in 1928, now a 93 years old healthy and a wise man.
So, the mineral rich food only we have to take. Food rich in mineral if we take, we can sustain the heat.
People living in cold climate of Himalayas or cold climate of Minneapolis or London kind of cities, they have to take a different food.
They say in Tamil, Oorodu Ottuval. That means where you are living, in that place, what is cultivated, that only you have to take.
The man believes that every living being has a right to live and live a healthy life.
Every living being should live healthy. That is my ultimate motto.
The old wise man is no less than any young guy, the way he exercises with power and speed. The man has beaten the biggest health challenges with just naturopathy.
So you recommend taking millets rather than rice and wheat. But rice has become a very regular eating phenomena in entire South India.
The reason being, as I told, you open the sweat glands, you take dark green leaves and sprouts, pulse sprouts and seeds. After 2 months you go to the doctor, he himself will get astonished, the power will be 0. That's what happened to me also. Even at this age, my power is 0.
Oh, wonderful, Swamiji. That's beautiful. So at 93 years, you have a healthy eyesight.
Yeah.
So you also mean to say that even the furniture that we sit, the chair that we sit, the bed that we sleep also has an impact on the health.
Definitely.
Hold your breath and join me in welcoming Mr. Narayan Swamy in Sacred Talks only on PMC English.